Hello, my dear children. The agenda of today's class is Young's double slit experiment. Well, we have already studied all basics of interference of waves in the last class, and today we are going to study its application. Well, Young is the name of the scientist who produced interference pattern for the first time in lab. So what was his setup and how he could produce the interference pattern in lab? Let us all see. Well, Young made two pinholes. These are two very fine holes made in a cardboard or over an opaque sheet. He made two pinholes, and both these pinholes are very close to each other. Both the pinholes are very close to each other. They are as close as say 1 millimeter. And the screen is placed from this pinholes at a distance of capital D, and this capital D is of the order of 1 meter. Well, this diagram is highly magnified. These two pinholes, which behave like two different coherent sources or two different slits, are very close to each other, not as far away as shown here. They are as far away as 1 millimeter or even less than that. So what happens? Both the slits, both the pinholes are illuminated by a common source. This is a common source of single color, monochromatic source, which illuminates both the slits. And what happens? Both these slits starts behaving like two coherent sources. The waves from slit number S2, they travel like this in this right part of the medium. These are the waves coming from slit number S2. Likewise, the waves from slit number S1, they also travel like this in this right half of the medium. You can see the diagram. And the waves from both the sources, they superimpose over each other in this right half. And right in front of the center of this plane of slit is the center of the screen, and all over this screen is formed interference pattern. You already know interference pattern is alternate arrangement of maximas and minimas. So right over this screen we have maxima and minimas formed. And remember, all these maximas and minimas are along different lines which originate from here. If you make this diagram very carefully, you would be seeing that all maximas lie, all central maximas lie along this line, all first maximas lie along this line, and all second maximas lie along this line. This is central maxima. This is going to be what? This is central maxima. This is central maxima. This is going to be minima, and then it is going to be what? Maxima, and then minima, with maxima and minima. So we have alternate arrangement of maximas and minimas formed over the screen. So this was interference pattern produced by Young in the lab for the first time. Children, the setup which was already magnified is further being magnified here. So this is YDSC setup in its highly magnified version. Well, this distance, which is of the order of millimeter, is now magnified to this distance. The screen is placed at a distance of say 1 meter, and the two slits, the wave from both the slits, they superimpose over each other in this right part of the medium, right part of this slit, the plane of slit. Well, and over the screen is formed interference pattern. So what we have done here, we have taken an arbitrary point over screen and that arbitrary point over screen is P, and distance of this arbitrary point from the center of the screen is taken as X. Remember, the center of the screen is taken as reference point for measuring distance over screen. So distance of this point P is X from center of the screen. Now the waves from both the sources arrive at this point P. The waves from source S1, that it travels along this path and reaches point P. Similarly, the wave from source S2 also travels like this along this path and superpose with the wave coming from here. Now you can very clearly see that the wave traveling along this path and reaching here travels a greater distance as compared to the wave coming from S1 to reach this point. So this distance S1P is less than S2P. So by how much value this distance S2P is greater than S1P? That distance is the path difference between the two waves. Both the sources are coherent sources. The waves emanate simultaneously from both the sources in all directions. So the wave in this direction or wave in this direction from both the sources come out simultaneously and superimpose over this point of the screen after covering the different paths. So difference of these two distances is going to be the path difference between the two waves. The extra path difference is the extra distance the wave from a source travels as compared to the wave from other source. So what is the extra distance wave from this source is covering as compared to the wave from this source? And for that, what we have done, we have cut out this much of length from this particular length, or we can say we drop a normal here. We drop a normal here and the foot of the normal is M. So from here onward, MP is same as what? S1P. So S2P, this is S2P, S2P minus S1P is actually the path difference between the waves which are reaching here. This S2P minus S1P is going to be this much distance because these two distances are equal. MP is same as S1P, both the distances are equal. So if from this distance we subtract this distance or this distance, what do we get? S2M. So this S2M is the path difference between the two, and this path difference is S2M, and we are going to find out the value of this S2M very shortly. S2M, which is the path difference between the waves coming from S1 and S2, is going to be found out by this right angle triangle. What is this right angle triangle? This right angle triangle is this right angle triangle. We copy this right angle triangle from here and paste that right angle triangle here. What is this? This is S1, this is S2. This point is M, this is normal. This distance is delta S, this distance is small d, and this angle is theta. See, this angle is theta, this angle is going to be 90 minus theta. This angle is already 90, that means this angle is going to be what? Theta. So we have copied this right angle triangle from here and pasted that right angle triangle here. Now who cannot find out the value of sine theta? Sine theta from this triangle would be what? Perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Perpendicular is delta S and hypotenuse is what? Small d. That means delta S is equal to d sine theta. And we all know that sine theta is equal to tan theta is equal to theta if theta is very small. If theta is very small, then sine theta, tan theta or theta all are equal to each other. Therefore, this sine theta can be written as tan theta or theta. And what is tan theta? Tangent of this theta is going to be perpendicular upon base. Perpendicular upon base. See, tangent of theta is going to be perpendicular upon base. This angle is also theta, and even this angle is also going to be theta. All these three angles seem to be different in the diagram, but practically all these three angles, the angle of inclination of this point P from S2, angle of inclination of point P from this center point, and angle of inclination of point P from S1. All these three angles are same. Why are they same? Because these two slits which are made far away from each other are very close to each other. They are as close as what? 1 millimeter. They are as close as 1 millimeter. So these two slits are very close to each other. Therefore, the angle of inclination of point P at S2 would be same as angle of inclination of point P at S1 or anywhere in between. Remember, this distance is 1 millimeter. It is of the order of 1 millimeter. So what is tangent of theta? Tangent of theta is going to be perpendicular upon base. Tangent of theta is going to be what? X upon d. X upon d. So delta S is equal to dx upon d. This is the path difference between the waves from the two coherent sources reaching at this arbitrary point P. For maxima of our bright bands of our constructive interference, we know the path difference is what? N lambda, where n is what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. N is order of maxima. And if we write n lambda, if we equate this n lambda with delta S, what do we get? N lambda is equal to dx by d. And what do we get x as? We get x as n lambda capital D by d. What is this x? This x is nothing but distance of nth maxima, nth bright band over screen from center. This x is the distance of nth maxima from center of the screen. Well, for central maxima, n is going to be what? 0. If n is equal to 0, n is equal to 0 for central maxima. What is this x? This x comes out to be what? 0. That means the maxima is formed right at the center of the screen. And if we write n is equal to 1, well, for first minima n is equal to 1, we get x1 as lambda d by d. For second minima, we write n is equal to what? 2, and we get 2 lambda d by d as the distance of second minima. For third maxima, we can write n is equal to 3, we get x as what? 3 lambda d by d, and so on for nth maxima. This is distance. Children, we can see here that all maximas are equispaced. If we find out the distance between two consecutive maximas, that is x1 minus x0, x2 minus x1 or x3 minus x2. So what is distance? Distance between two consecutive maximas. Distance between two consecutive maximas. Yeah, distance between two consecutive maximas is going to be what? xn minus 1. Or you subtract x2 from x1, x1 from x2, or x2 from x3, and so on. If we find the distance, this minus this minus this, what do we get? We get this distance as what? Lambda capital D by small d. And this distance, which is distance between consecutive maxima, is also called as beta. Beta is nothing but fringe width. And this is also the definition of fringe width. Fringe width, bandwidth is defined as the distance between consecutive maximas, and that is what is this. For minima of a dark band of a destructive interference, what is path difference? Path difference is 2n minus 1 lambda by 2, where n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. These are orders of various minimas, and we have already seen that delta S is equal to d x upon capital D. If we write here the condition for minima 2n minus 1 lambda by 2, if we equate delta S with this condition for minima 2n minus 1 lambda by 2 dx upon capital D. This simply means x is going to be what? This x is going to be 2n minus 1 lambda times capital D upon 2d. What is this expression for? This is expression for distance of nth dark band or minima over screen from center of the screen. If we substitute n is equal to 1, n is equal to 1, what do we get? We get first minima, and the distance of first minima is going to be what? Well, 2 into 1 is 2 minus 1 is 1, lambda d by 2d. If we substitute n is equal to 2, what do we get? We get distance of second minima, and the distance of second minima comes out to be what? 3 lambda by 2d. And if we substitute n is equal to 3, what do we get? Distance of third minima, and distance of third minima comes out to be what? 5 lambda d by d. Just substitute, n is equal to 3. 3 2 is 6 minus 1 is 5. 5 lambda d by 2d. And so on. For nth minima, this of course is the distance. So we can very clearly see here also distance between two consecutive minimas. This distance is also called as bandwidth. This distance is also called as bandwidth. B-A-N-D. Bandwidth. Or it is also called as fringe width. The fringe width or bandwidth, the bands, maximas or minimas, wideband or dark band which are formed. Well, their width is defined as the distance between two consecutive maximas or distance between two consecutive minimas. So distance between consecutive minimas is what? The distance of nth maxima minus distance of n minus 1th minima. This is minima. So fringe width here is distance between two consecutive minima. And what is that? Nth minima distance minus n minus 1th minima distance, or distance of third minima minus second minima, or distance of second minima minus first minima. And if we find out this distance, this minus this or this minus this, what do we get? We get lambda d by small d. So this is formula for fringe width. We have already found out this formula from the definition of the distance of nth maxima. So whether it is distance between two consecutive maxima or distance between two consecutive minima, it is lambda d by d, which is fringe width. So all maximas and minimas are equispaced, equidistant, and distance between two consecutive maximas or two consecutive minimas is called fringe width, bandwidth. And you can see here, bandwidth depends upon what? Wavelength of the light directly. It is directly proportional to capital D, the distance between slit and the screen, and it is inversely proportional to small d, the distance between the two slits. That is why in YDSE this distance is very, very small, 1 millimeter. Otherwise the interference pattern might be formed, but it might not be visible to us. So the distance has to be as small as 1 millimeter. So children, with this we come to the end of today's class. Thank you very much and God bless you all.